Welcome into another edition of the Statesman Insider. As always, Jimmy Smith here with you. This time, Jason Connor in the hot seat here on the Statesman Insider. Coach.
Hot.
4-2 hot are the Statesmen as they head on a road trip coming up to the Panhandle this weekend. And Coach, you're heading down to first. You'll head down to West Florida. Yep. Second, Valdosta. We'll get to that in a second. But first, you're coming off quite a good week with win in North Alabama. You also had a win over West Georgia going to their place. 4-2. Things are coagulating. Things are coming together. You're having guys that step up. You're having guys that don't normally step up. Dimitri Pearson scores 13. And the win against North Alabama had a great night. 6 of 8. He shot long. He was down in the paint where he takes care of business. We'll start with the North Alabama win on Monday from last week.
The cluster. Good start.
Well, it was 5-point win, but it was a good win over a rival. Anytime you beat a rival, it's big.
Yeah, and North Al is talented. They're always going to be at that, certainly on top of the East every year, year in and year out, and certainly a nationally known program. Bobby Champagne does a great job. Their kids are loose as goose. I think that's a rap song.
It is. Your team comes out to it every single game.
But anyway, they're loose as a goose, and they fog shots, and they're a hard team to play. They've got small guards that quickly spot up and got athletic kids that they run at you, and then they had the big beast in the middle that was a presence, certainly. But again, the freedom that they give, and and people can maybe play that way, but I think so often that ends up biting you down the road sometimes, and certainly especially on the road. Bobby's trying to get a hold of his kids and figure out where they are and what their strengths are. And again, you'd mentioned Dimitri coming out and playing very well. Yes, we finally that night. And I think a lot of people have written stuff about it, and a lot of folks, I'm certainly getting plenty of emails and everything else, but it was a cluster, but there was, when you've got so many guys that are new, I mean, think about it. We've got our 3 leading scorers weren't ever with us last year.
Marquez, Rodriguez.
And then you've got, and not only weren't with us last year, they weren't even playing last year.
Right.
So you've got guys that hadn't played 2 or 3 years.
Right.
And now we're trying to bring them together. And that's easier said than done.
Yeah.
I think the guys are doing well right now, to be honest with you. North Alabama, we had turned the ball over 28 times. I think we shot a miserable 7% from the 3.
1 of 14, bad.
I don't know what else we did. I don't know really what we did right except finish.
Right.
And find a way to get it done. And certainly, North Al turns the ball over, and but I'm not worried about North Al.
Right.
I'm worried about us taking care of the ball and doing those things. But it was certainly a good win against a very good opponent, and they will probably be 1 or 2, no lower than 3 over there, probably all year long. So good win.
Marquez Brown had one of the most quiet double-doubles I have ever experienced.
I agree.
Except for that opening dunk. It was about 16 minutes 16 minutes left in the second half. The inbound from Chad to Marquez. Other than that, just pulling down rebounds and scoring baskets. I also noticed something where he passed on a dunk to take a higher percentage layup and take contact. I noticed those things.
Yeah, I know.
And what about his progression from being that high flyer guy putting butts in the seats to finishing plays?
And and that's a great, it's easy to say, we don't dunk the basketball, we lay it up.
Right.
When you have a young man that has that ability, that God-given ability, you want him to feel great passion for the game.
Right.
And you don't want to beat him over the head and say, no, you can't do these things. So he's growing and maturing in those areas. I'm glad you saw that. That's very, very important. I think, down the stretch, dunk, miss. He doesn't make the free throws. He's getting better at that.
Yes, for sure, yes.
But there is a time and a place for everything in life. and he's learning how to do that. And he's coachable. He's willing to learn, and that's over half the battle there.
Yep.
And now, if he can continue to, if we can get him posting a little higher, his game is going to grow leaps and bounds. If we can get him to catch it and chin it and turn high and read that double team, which is coming, maybe even a triple team,
right,
and find that open man or open cutter, he's going to be a lot of fun for 2 more years.
Right. When a guy averages 11.7 and 7.3 rebounds a game, he'll get those double teams. We'll talk more about the States when we come back. Roger Ali, Chad Aikens. We'll show you the meaty guys as they come out. So all when we return
nice
on the Statesman Insider on W.